Hey guys, I apologize again. I know it's been so long since I made a video. I wanted to get back on track. I ended up getting sick yet again. I was barely even better for like a week. So I'm feeling better now. Hopefully I won't, once spring comes around, I won't be getting sick as much. But I haven't been to the gym in forever too. I feel big and pasty and gross. So I've been shopping a lot, so that does make me feel better. But anyway, so I decided I'd do a brush overview today of like the brushes I have. They're mostly MAC, but some other brands, and what I use them for and which ones I think are the most useful. So without further ado, I think the first brush that pretty much everybody needs is a foundation brush. This is one by Prescriptives, but I know MAC makes one, a 190. It's synthetic fiber, so it doesn't soak up too much product. I find I have trouble using a natural bristle brush for foundation because it's going to suck up so much foundation that you end up wasting quite a bit. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with these type of brushes. I don't think it's the kind of thing you need to splurge on, but if you want to, go for it. You can pick up an EcoTools one, which is great. All right, next is an Origins blush brush. This one's super soft. I'm probably going to replace this because it's pretty old. I'm going to get the MAC 168 maybe, or I don't know. I like this. It's also synthetic, so it's really soft. I actually use this instead of for blush. I use it for contouring with matte bronzer. I mean, I like this brush. It's just so old that I do want to replace it, but it's good. I think it's good to have a separate brush for bronzer, a separate brush for bronzer and blush. Oh my god, that's hard to say. Because otherwise you're going to mix the two colors and it's going to end up looking really muddy. So I would say, it's probably a good idea to have two different ones. Alright, this has got to be my new favorite brush. This is actually an EcoTools one. I believe it's like $8. I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond, but it's so soft. I mean, honestly, softer than any of the MAC brushes I have. It's incredibly dense. The bristles are so dense. And I'm pretty sure it's synthetic. I haven't washed it yet, so I don't know if it bleeds, but it's just a beautiful brush. I love it for putting on blush, highlight. It's just so soft. It's so nice to use. So absolutely no excuse for not picking this up. It's, $8. You won't regret it. Next, an all-over face powder brush I think is a good investment. This is the MAC 150, I believe. Yeah. And it's a pretty big brush. I mean, you can see how big this is. I personally like big powder brushes just because I can do a really light dusting. But if you don't, you can find a smaller one, like maybe the 130, 129, I think. It's really personal preference, but I like this brush. It's a little on the rougher side, and it does bleed when you're washing it, but if you like a really light powder application, I recommend this because it fluffs up quite a bit, and you can just really lightly sort of skim over your forehead and everything, so I love this. And, of course, the infamous Duo Fiber Brush. Everybody has one. I do like it. I like it quite a bit for cream blushes. I don't quite get why everyone's so bonkers over these. I mean, it's incredibly soft. It's a nice brush. I do love it, but it's, people say it makes you look flawless and airbrushed. I don't know. I mean, I haven't used it for foundation. Maybe that is true for foundation, but just for applying powder products and cream blushes, it's a good brush. I mean, if you wear a lot of cream blushes, I think it's worth picking up, but definitely not a must-have. I think you can achieve similar looks. This is the 187, by the way. They make a 188, which is much smaller, and a 130, I believe, which is shorter bristles. Next up, a Kabuki. This is a Bare Essentials one. I normally hate Bare Essentials brushes. I think they're really rough, but this is actually a body Kabuki, and it's pretty soft, so I don't know why I keep rubbing all the brushes on my face. It's just tempting to do that. I don't think they're a must. If you wear a lot of mineral makeup, maybe, but meh. I don't use it that much. Alright, on to face brushes. Eye brushes, sorry. I would say the holy three that pretty much everybody needs is a shader brush, a crease brush, and a blending brush. So these are all dirty. I'm just about to wash them. This is the shader brush. This is the MAC 239. Very small, about smaller than the tip of my finger. Good for packing on color densely on your lid. I think it's pretty much a must. I mean, if you have a lot of lid space, maybe go for a bigger brush, but it works fine for me. I quite like it. I use it every single day. Next up, this is my crease brush that I like the most. I do have the 224. I'll compare them for you there. As you can see, the 224 is synthetic and it's quite a bit fluffier. It's also not as long. I prefer the 222. I find it just gets in there better, whereas this is better for blending. Also for putting on concealer, but I use this mainly for putting a wash of color and blending. 222, yeah, I definitely recommend getting this. If you have really small lid space, I don't think MAC makes a good crease brush for very small, working in very small spaces. They do make a 226, which would be good, but of course it's limited edition, so I don't know, you'd have to hunt around for one. I know Paula Dorf makes a good crease brush, but for most average-sized lids, the 224 or the 222 are fine. Then, as I said, blending brush 217. Everybody loves this brush. Good for applying a wash of color. It's just a good brush. I could do all my makeup with this one brush. Next up, my eyebrows. I do with this, which is a Smashbox number 7 push liner brush. It's supposed to be made for pushing liner, shadow as a liner on your lash line, but I use it to sort of drag the color across my brows. It's pretty stiff, so I would not recommend it around your eyes. It's pretty rough, to be honest. For my liners, I use this Bobbi Brown ultrafine eyeliner brush. I know it's weird, if you can see what that looks like. It's almost like a pencil brush, but flat instead of, a circular brush. I just like the way these go on. I don't like the long, thin ones. I find this much easier. It's kind of personal preference, but I like it. Then my other detail brushes, we have a pencil brush. This one's just from Sephora. It's synthetic. It's good for smudging stuff. It's pointier than the MAC 219, I think. Yeah, it's much pointier. Then we have the MAC 226, which I use a lot for putting powder along my lash line. And let's see what else. Oh, this brush I just picked up, which I love. This is the 214. And it's a very, very short, stubby shader brush, and I always drag eyeshadow along my lower lash line, and this is perfect for that. It's really, really easy. I love it. Definitely one of my new favorite brushes. Alright, another one is the MAC 275. Not a totally essential brush. I don't use this one that much. Mainly what I use it for is putting highlighter up here, inner corner. Sometimes I use it for darker colors on my V. But, I don't know, I'm having trouble finding a use for this one. I mean, it can work pretty well for depositing color directly into your crease, but it's very hard to blend out because it just packs the color in there. I think maybe for a smoky eye it would work better, but, yeah, I don't know. Not sure what to make of this one. Alright, my last two are both synthetic brushes. They can be used interchangeably for concealer. It's the 249 and the 195. I use the this one, the 249, for my paint pots because, as you can see, it's actually much larger, well, pretty much quite a bit bigger than the concealer brush. Synthetic, it just allows me to put a paint pot all over my lid really quickly, but also I can sort of work it into smaller areas since it's so finely, it's such a thin brush. The 195 I just picked up as a concealer brush. I love this because it's thick enough that you can go over large areas if you need to, but it's got this little point to it. So not only is it going to fit well in your eye, but you can turn it like this and just dot it straight on, which I do a lot of the time if I'm breaking out, so it doesn't look like I've caked a bunch of concealer on. So, yeah, so that is it. I hope this wasn't too long of a video. I mean, I would say if you're starting out a brush collection, if you're starting out a brush collection and you really want to get MAC brushes, I think good ones to pick up, definitely get the 239 for all over your lid, definitely get the 217 for blending, and then take your pick between the 222 and the 224 for your crease. As for the rest, I don't think any of them are too essential. Ones I'm really liking, I do really like the 214. I think it's kind of a luxury because you can use the 239, but I just find this one's more precise. Then as for face, I think that's a hard one. I think you definitely need a blush brush. Honestly, the one I'd recommend most for the face is this EcoTools brush. I think it's pretty much indispensable. I mean, it's a bronzer brush. It's meant to be for bronzer, but I mean, there's so many things you could use it for. Powder, blush, bronzer, highlight. I really, really like it. So definitely this one. And then everybody needs a foundation brush. I don't think this is something you have to get from MAC, though. You know, EcoTools makes a great one, so... Anywho, that's about it. I hope you guys found this useful. I think tomorrow morning when I get ready for work, I'm going to film myself because I'm going to do like a 5-minute smoky eye, so hopefully that'll be interesting. That's about it. I'm trying to think. I guess that's all. If you guys have any questions about like the brushes, which ones I'd like for this or that or whatever, just ask below in the comments. And I'm going to go to bed soon. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.